Say it in common. Say it in common.
This episode of the Commoners of D&D is brought to you by Tiger Skull RPG. Tiger Skull RPG offers monthly 3D printable miniatures complete with 5e stats, digital illustrations, and loot cards. Everything you need for fully realized NPC encounters. Tiger Skull RPG is creating true print and play collectibles so you can hop right into your RPG with the latest figure. Check it out at tigerskullrpg.com and patreon.com/tigerskullrpg where you can get started for as low as $1 a month. Did that make sense? Was that a cool title?
Sounds cool to me. Thank goodness.
At least she's getting that out of the way early.
Please use the Polk Connect app.
I swear it only happens when y'all come over. Someone's phone must try to hook up to it or
It's
something.
got to be. All right, here we go.
Mine's on airplane mode and Bluetooth turned off, so. But I hear it all the time. When I'm
I say you're listening. Yeah, okay. Here we go. You're listening to Say It in Common, where we talk about it all, not just Dungeons and Dragons. I'm AJ Cannon.
Seth Templin.
Tyrel Merle.
Anthony Tate.
And this is Dustin here, and I play Gillard. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, first time on the
Long time listener, first time speaker,
Yeah.
twice time player.
Yeah, for all you out there who are really, you have some
We're talking
lofty
about 15
goals, you know, you could be on an episode of the Commoners of D&D.
It turns out if you've known Seth for years, he just invites you.
Yeah.
I invite so many people.
Or not,
to play
not even,
Dungeons
yeah.
and Dragons.
Seth's just like, hey, by the way, tonight somebody's coming over.
So true.
Never played before.
Okay, I told Dexter this past week. This will be on the next episode though. But I was just like, "Hey, you want to come play?" I was like, "No, my producer's gonna hate me." I was like, "Wait, Cameron might not be coming, so you can come." Yeah.
Seth's motto is, I have 7 people, 8's fine.
Yeah.
If we have to share mics, that's fine. I just love
No.
people playing this game.
Well, anyway, we're going into keeping it common here on episode 12 when me and Tyrel weren't here. So one of y'all take it away that we're here.
Usually, you have all the questions, AJ.
Well, I might ask something, but
Okay.
Seth or Dustin.
Okay, this was
whatever.
extremely fun because I am very laid back DM. Like, I don't plan a lot of stuff beforehand because I don't know where my players are going to take me. I don't know where they're going to go, and I don't want to like come up with an awesome plan. And this is a lot of people have kind of given this advice that I looked into when I was creating my first homebrew world: is do not go into major detail and do not write too much because you're going to get disappointed when your players fly past a town that you worked really hard on and think it's super cool and they don't care anything about it. So I try to go week by week. What are we doing? What do we need this week? What's going on?
Wait till we get there and then
Yeah.
go into detail.
Yeah.
That's good.
I do try to like like during the week I'll think, okay, they're going to be here and I don't expect them to leave this place. So what aspects do I need to bring in? Now we're at a place and we're going to be here for a good while. This is going to be a good chunk of time. And Dustin decided he was going to... I texted him just randomly. I was like, hey, I want you to create a player. And I didn't even know if he's going to come play. I was just like, I want you to create a warden for me to be in charge of the group. And maybe if you get to come play it, that's cool. If not, I just want you to create this thing. He went above and beyond, created the entire force of people that work there. He found an amazing map for us to use and then customized it even more.
A real prison called the Turtle. My real prison model is where y'all are at. So it's legit. Like if this could be a prison somewhere. I don't know if it is, but I was actually looking up prison blueprints.
Wow.
I wanted it to be an actual place that would actually house people against their will. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. Seth was just like, create a character. So I was like, screw that. I was like, what do you have prepared for this place? And he said, nothing. So I changed all that. And I think I turned y'all's one episode of the Academy into...
It would have been upwards to 3.
Yeah.
Now we're looking probably at, well, based on the next episode that we're going to talk about, it might be a lot longer than I expected. But yeah, we're gonna be here a while longer.
Anyway, Seth, how do you know Dustin? Like
We went to college together.
Yeah, I know, but like, how did this whole thing? Did y'all play D&D in college together?
Nope.
Or?
No.
In fact, I got into D&D during college, and I think we were friends at the time, and I was going every
refused-
Monday. He didn't even tell me he played.
I know I didn't play. I refused to play, and my exact answer to him was, Seth, I have too many things distracting me in college already. I know I like D&D, and I can't play with you.
I would literally, we were really bad for each other during college.
Yeah.
Like, both of us dropped out because we'd play
get
video
schooled
games till
up.
3 a.m., and then he would sleep
We
through
did
his
the
alarm.
OG Skyrim speedruns before all the exploits.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, we played a lot of video games.
Yeah.
He's the reason I jumped on Team PlayStation, actually. I had an Xbox 360 going into college.
PlayStation.
And then
Still
jumped
waiting
over
on
to
that release
PlayStation.
price. Xbox One X. We'll get that later.
Yep, on the console later. Anyway, more about the campaign.
I'll say from a player's perspective, to have you two gone, AJ and Tyrel, I mean, that kind of fed into the whole energy of us going into a prison, because usually Buck plays off of Quincy. And, I mean, maybe Quincy plays off of Buck. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
But, like, I didn't have that, so it was just, it was
It's uncomfortable.
yeah, it was uncomfortable. So I was just like, well, I got nobody to have these little, fake arguments with. So I was more somber as a player.
Right. Yeah. So I've listened to all the episodes, listened to some of the Saying comments, most of the beginning, so I wanted to hear anything like they had to say behind the scenes. You definitely in episode 12 became the de facto leader, and if that wasn't more present than Wrath saying, "Go ahead and take him the map. Who cares?" It's like God.
At that point,
That was me. Like, okay, this is a good opportunity. This is part of Kyle's backstory. I will give him a line. Like, I'm going to focus on him. The Dark Spectre is going to be speaking to him, and it's going to be through him. Nah, just go on over to there. To that other
just
guy.
hand that to little Buck over there.
Yeah, he's who you need to talk to.
Yeah,
He's the man with the plan, and I was just like, okay.
No, not at all.
Oh,
was
gosh.
funny.
He's just a loose cannon. It's hilarious.
Oh man.
I love that he's stepping into the role playing aspect of
Yes.
the game finally.
Yeah.
It's like he's got a screw loose half the time. It's hilarious.
Oh, that's just Kyle.
Yeah, I know, but it's great.
I talked to him about that last time I talked to him. I was like, look, I know you're a new player, and I love that honest energy you bring to your character, because from my experience playing D&D, that gets trained out of you. You know, once you kick open enough doors or open enough chests, and you're not covering all your bases, you get blown up or your arm gets ripped off by something, and you soon learn. You know, you don't play recklessly, and he's still on that reckless stage, and it's a load of fun.
It's like going into the first village in Skyrim just to see if you could kill everything.
Yeah, every guard.
Yeah. And then you find out you ruined a whole bunch of quest lines.
Yeah.
Thanks, Seth.
Well, as uncomfortable as y'all may have been, I guarantee you weren't as uncomfortable as me, who is behind the wheel of a van in another state, and me and Tyrel are trying to figure out what's going on over here. And I'm just making sure y'all hit the right buttons and stay close to your microphones, airplane mode your phones.
So many edits.
Yeah, there was a lot of
At
edits.
the end of
It
recording,
did seem like the game for some reason broke down a lot without you here. And I don't think I don't think while we're playing you're trying to keep the game going. I don't think you're like stopping people from chatting. It seemed like it was a lot more chatty.
It didn't listen that way.
Did it not? I just assumed that when you said there was 19 edits that you had to do for it.
people are afraid of you, AJ.
No, it was.
Bring the hammer down.
I don't know. There was some of it was uncontrollable edits, and some of it was just a break where y'all are.
I feel partially responsible as a new person. I was probably talking a lot because I was trying to be helpful to the new
Right. Well,
players.
I don't edit anybody talking. Like if it's talking about the game,
Right.
it all stays in there.
Well,
but if it's
you
just
already-
like blank space where somebody's looking something up, or y'all stop because somebody's opening a door, somebody's got to go to the bathroom. I mean, all that crap gets cut out. But I mean, if there's actual talking, like how something works, like people can learn from that. Like if we're learning something in game, people listening might be learning something too. So I'll leave all that in there. I mean, I cut as little as possible because it's a hassle.
Right.
Which I will say, Dustin was the perfect fill-in for Tyrel not being there, because both of them are walking encyclopedias of everything D&D.
Yeah, well, I've now that I've played 2. We're talking about episode 12, but I played 2 now. Now that I played 2, I realized I overloaded Seth with information. He was just sitting there.
That was a part of the problem. The first episode, I might have been like a bunch of those pauses because I hadn't gotten in as much into the depth of. I didn't understand how everything worked yet.
Me.
I let you do too much.
They're walking in the academy and Seth's like, "What's your character's name?"
Yeah.
Warden who? Warden who? I was like,
That's it.
Warden Gillard. Everyone, I just look at everyone's face. I'll be seeing you all later. Yeah. It was fun. I don't know. I hope I didn't overload you, Seth. I had a ton of fun creating it, and I appreciate the experience. When they were telling me where to sit, they were like, "You can just sit next to Seth because apparently it doesn't matter if you see everything." I was like, "If there's something I can't see, we're probably in trouble."
He's got it all memorized anyway.
Yeah.
Tyrel, do you have any questions since you weren't here? I mean, we talked about it a little bit, but
What about the Chimera?
Chimera was my idea actually because I wanted, like, a big part of the whole thing is we do want to put fear into you guys. And AJ actually just mentioned this later. He's like, at the end of this, we're not going to be afraid to die because they're going to bring us back so many times.
it's like Navy SEAL training.
Yeah. But that's not really the point. But it all comes down to, like, they don't know that y'all work for the Inkling or that y'all are, like, a part of the Inkling. They see you as strong people who are being forced to serve the Empire now. So they're going to make you into whatever you can be, the best that you can be to serve the Empire. Right. So, like, they are trying to keep you alive. They're trying to keep you alive, but they're also not going to take it easy on you because they don't care about you.
Right. That was one of the concerns people got. I think actually mentioned to me while we were playing. It's like, you said one thing, but you did another. It's like, I mean, I didn't feel that way in the moment because you don't let tools die. You don't let, you don't let your tools, like,
You don't throw your
rust.
hammer out in the rain.
Right. You don't let them, like, you don't just abuse them. But once they're broken, or if they're no longer a useful tool, you do throw them out. And that was kind of the mentality of the entire academy, and that was just where I was coming from when I made one of my speeches that was all ad-libbed because thought about that stuff. I have like a 2-hour drive to get here. I think about, okay, what am I going to say like the whole way here? And I get here and it's like, I don't remember. I'll just say something. Yeah. So that's like, you want to say anything? I'll figure it out. I'll just if I can't embrace the spirit of my character and without any preparation, then what kind of a player am I?
Right.
We met a couple other wardens. We met Bryce Overhill real quick.
Yeah.
He's the little one, right?
He's the little one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Creating the wardens was a lot of fun. I wanted to have them all like to feel different.
I think I hope I'm making them seem different.
Oh yeah, you did a good job.
We met Victoria for just a second. We'll talk more about her in the episode 12 talk, but
Yeah. Next session.
or episode 13. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Chimera was just I wanted a cool
Classic monster.
Yeah, classic monster.
Think the
I thought
other
they'd win. Really thought they would.
The other one we talked about was a troll because they can regenerate, and I was like, that'd be a good creature for an institution to use to train up their people. And I thought about this after during the week after the game, and technically they did win because Darren was still alive. Mm-hmm. They actually won. They would have been awarded experience. They beat the creature because it fleed. Darren could have killed it if it actually hadn't left the arena.
Oh man!
Yeah,
I
man.
know.
Darren.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about it. He was just doing stuff, and they were surrounding it. He could have got sneak attack.
Darren is very new. Darren is the newest player to the game. Kyle's played a few games, but him and Darren, they're both new. Darren just blows me away with how clever he is with the role-playing aspect of it. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't understand his spells, but he uses... I gave him the cards that none of y'all use, losers. But he reads those cards, and he takes that into his role-playing and, like, really works on that. Like, no way... Like, I created a barbarian the first time I played 5th edition, and I loved it. But there's no way I could have even went with a trickster rogue and done what he's doing. Like, he's thinking, okay, let's make a silent image and we're gonna make it the Duke. where did that come from in his head? That was awesome. But he doesn't understand how the spell works. Like, if he would have put the image right in front of the Chimera, it would have drawn away stuff, but he was using it to hide behind, which is another great use of silent image. Make it a box or a barrel on yourself and get sneak attack advantage or something. But he doesn't understand all that, and hopefully he will. But his role playing is just so good.
Oh man, like he's into it. The thing is, like, just anybody can look over at Darren when we're in like a combat setting and see the gears turning.
Yeah,
like
he's just staring at his sheet.
He is a rogue in mind right now, because I mean, you can look over at him and he's just like, he's got his hand over his mouth. He's looking at his character sheet and he's just like, all right, how can I blow some minds right now?
One of these days, he's going to do something and save everybody's butt. Or do something incredible.
His ability to survive combat better than Tyrel is proof of that.
This is too.
That's the thing too, is he's playing like a rogue, like he's the last man alive, and that's exactly how a rogue would be. He is like
the downside to both his class and his character is the environment that he's found himself in. You don't want to be a rogue alone in a pit where there's nothing but you and your wits. He has nothing he can hide behind. He has nothing he can take advantage of his best feature, which for the rogue is a sneak attack, unless he has people around. And like I said, I think that just comes down to just he's a new player, so he's still figuring a lot of it out. So,
I think that there's on the next episode what we'll talk about. I think he figured some stuff out though.
Yeah.
When I got here Saturday, were y'all like teaching the game in here? Because you were staying over there with Kyle for a long time, like looking at his character
Tate was
sheet.
teaching the game to Kyle.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing.
It looked like training camp.
It's like I wanted Kyle to know what he was looking at, not just like kind of guess. And I wanted him to, to have more insight now that he's played his character. Because for me, experience is the best teacher. Mm-hmm. If you teach me something and then I do it, I'm going to screw up, like 6 ways to Sunday. All right, but then I mess around with it. I fail at doing it, or I fall short, and then you come in and tell me all these places where I could improve, or you rehash that information. I get it. It clicks.
A lot of people rank Monk as one of the easiest classes to play. I don't think so. Those key points, you have a lot of options to do with those key points.
I was working on the Dark Knight and then the Oath of the Dragon Knight that I texted you about a while back. When I was doing that, I wanted a clear concept of what all the classes gain, just as far as sheer number. And when you break down every single skill, the monks have the most, like just raw number of skills, as opposed to every other class except for Barbarian was a close second. I think the monk had like 18 individual skills that you have to maintain by 20th level, whereas the Barbarian had 14. And a fighter had like, I think 13. And that doesn't account for feats, because other than the fighter and one other class that I can't remember, everyone gets the same number of feats with those 2 exceptions.
Yeah. I think what it is like it goes this way with any character. You start at level 1. By the time you're level 5, you don't like. If you start a character at level 5, you're confused. Mm-hmm. If you start a character at level 1, you gain all those things and you learn it. And I think with Monk, it's really easy starting out, because I'm going to punch it and I'm going to punch it again, and then that's my turn.
Pre-level 5 monks are really powerful. They're considered very, very powerful as opposed to the other classes.
But I mean, it takes till you
see that in our 1v1s.
Well,
yeah, my monk was really bad. Well, it wasn't my fault. I rolled horrible, and you got initiative and you ran up on me. When do you get key as a monk?
Second level.
The second level. I was gonna say, at least you at level 1 you don't have to worry about key. Then after that, you can't do anything wild and crazy till level 4 or 5. So you kind of level up with it and learn it before.
I've always wanted to. If I ever DM, it's going to be a homebrew, because I don't like modules. I'm not going to take time to learn a full module. I've always been a homebrew guy. But yeah, so and I have no fear of a powerful character. I would give people like a level 1 feat if that's what everybody wanted. Just know the more powerful I make you, I will threaten your life on a constant occasion. I think that makes it more fun. I've always preferred level 3 because the characters aren't too powerful. They don't get that level 4 feat yet. But man, level 1, 10 hit points. I'm really surprised Seth didn't accidentally kill you with chickens. I mean, let's be honest.
Level 0.
Yeah, level 0 with chickens. That's technically a threat against y'all because they're also level 0.
Yeah, I think I had.
I don't think the chickens had attacks.
No, they didn't.
Do they not have a peck or something?
Oh, okay. Well, so I don't look at level 0 creatures. That's ridiculous.
What I'm afraid is Seth keeps talking about how powerful we're going to be and that we are and stuff, and I'm afraid you're going to give us something we can't handle. You already did with those dang Wendigos.
Yeah. Y'all beat the Wendigos though.
What?
Y'all beat the Wendigos.
That was a close fight.
I think we should have died.
That was definitely supposed to be
Y'all
number one.
should not have lost to the Chimera though. That was a CR6 creature, and there was 5 players that were all level 5. That shouldn't have lost to that.
Darren though didn't attack once.
But right, Darren didn't attack one time, so
and
it might as
every
well
one of
been
them
4.
would have been.
Right.
Oh, wait, 5 players.
Well, that's usually pretty
It
close.
was you, Kyle, Darren,
Cameron.
Oh,
Oh, was it just 4?
was it just 4?
I think it's just.
So there was 3. So that makes it a lot closer.
I mean, there were 3 big boys right up in its face.
right.
CR is based off a party of 4, isn't it? Like if you say something's a CR level 4.
CR is not.
CR is very inconsistent.
Okay, well I thought it usually averaged out like when I've done the calculators and stuff. Usually if you put like a CR4 creature against 4 level 4s, it's usually like that's a fair
It depends.
fair to
because
dangerous.
They've got like minion class CR3s that are super weak, and a player could easily one-on-one that thing. But then you have what's like more of like a boss class CR, and there's no way a player would survive a 1v1. So you really just got to watch your monster stat blocks.
Kind of give and take.
I didn't think monsters got really legendary actions until at least CR 8 to 10. But I was looking at the unicorn, and they get legendary actions at 5. Now, why a good party would be fighting a unicorn is beyond me, but they get legendary actions as quickly as 5. A CR5 unicorn would tear you guys up just because of legendary actions alone.
Wow.
They'd just be healing themselves.
I can't wait to bring legendary actions into that.
No, because
Makes it confusing.
The mechanic you introduced early on.
No, that's just for early thing. I won't
Right.
do that.
No,
No, I
was
know, I'm just
super
saying it
cool.
was
I
your-
thought you might use that more. I mean, that was great. I think.
It's good for low level, but when stuff gets that's
It's
just
dangerous against
once
higher
things get
level
legendary actions and stuff, they get turns whenever they want, pretty much during them.
Yeah, they get like 3 per turn.
That you can
on
put any point.
Yeah, at any
I was
point.
like that one thing. It was a 20, 15, 10, 5. It was set. Those, if I see an opening, I can. It's gonna do this. It's
Legendary
gonna do
actions will change stuff up.
That's scary.
It'll be exciting. For the most part, you don't see legendary actions below. I want to say 8 to 10. Definitely 10. You'll start seeing them, but not a lot before 10. I was surprised seeing the unicorn with legendary actions.
We got anything else campaign?
that. We jumped way away from the campaign.
Well, we always do. but-
Yeah. Well, I mean, if y'all just want to go over the song thing real quick, and then we can go to everything
do
else.
that.
So
Yeah, what, I haven't even heard
Bonus
about
segment.
This. I don't even know what this is.
So yeah, bonus. So this, I wanted to introduce something since I was here because it's something I've been thinking about a couple of times. Okay, it's what me and you did for one of our old campaigns. If what song most accurately represents each character as where they stand right now in the campaign? And I went ahead and picked songs, but for the people who are here today, and I guess Seth can rule for the players who don't or who aren't here to represent themselves, and just see if they agree with me or maybe if they have their own song. And I guess I'll just start with what I have at the top of the list, which would be Buck. For Buck, I figured it'd be "Count on Me" by Bruno Mars. And I listened to all these songs when I made it, but for the life of me, I cannot think of some of the lyrics right now.
Which one is that?
It's not "Catch a Grenade." It's because if it's not that one. I honestly can't even remember the tune now. But when I was listening to songs,
Count on Me.
originally,
Is that the "You Can Count on Me Like One"?
yep, that's it. I think that's it. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Catch a Grenade also works for Buck as well, in my opinion. Now that I think about it, because I've always saw originally I had Hero for Buck. I was like Hero by Skillet.
Oh, okay.
Oh, see, I was thinking.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna
I
go.
was-
I need a hero.
That's what the one I was thinking of,
That's
and I was
what-
going to be like, yeah.
That was my original one for Buck, but he's so resistant to that name, and I ended up just going with a hero-based song for the party.
It would be perfect.
No, I know.
I mean, he would absolutely hate it.
But he's not technically a hero yet, and he's so resistant to the thing. I just feel like, and also, like I said, I went with a hero song for the full party that I'll get to last. So I was like, you can't do a hero song for Buck and the party, so I decided to break it up.
Buck
And
is
then
very you can count on him.
Quincy's was easy. I came up with this one. This was the first one I actually thought of when I started the list.
Hold on. Preliminary guess.
You'd never guess it.
Piano Man.
No. Killing in the Name by Rage Against the Machine.
Yes.
Okay.
I feel like at this point Quincy is killing in the name of his love interest, whose name I don't remember.
Burgett.
Burgett, yeah. I feel like that's where he's at right now, dealing with his rage.
Quick jump in. You can create a D&D name by taking a normal name and swapping some of the letters. I mean, that's Bridget if you swap the R and I. Burgett.
Yeah. And then, I guess moving next down the list for Tyrel, I picked this one just because of a couple of y'all's combat sessions up to this point. Bodies by Drowning Pool. Tyrel is the only character today that has decapitated someone and not suffered from it. You've all dropped people, but Tyrel is a stone cold killer.
The bodies?
Yeah.
I thought that was a joke that he hits the floor the most.
His
kinda works both
friend's
ways.
body also hits the floor a lot.
I mean,
Tyrell's characters hit the floor more than anyone.
Anyone else?
you know,
So, since you guys are here to defend your characters, any like suggestions or changes that you would recommend for your
No, that's perfect.
up to this point?
I wouldn't have thought of that.
yeah.
There are a couple other Rage songs that definitely work with Quincy. I just liked Killing in the Name for this
Yeah,
point.
that's perfect.
I don't think he's gotten past where he is in his like loss. So for the players who aren't here today, for Erst, Cameron's character, I struggled a lot with this one. I finally settled on "Alone Together" by Fall Out Boy. I felt like that was him. He's with a
I
party.
do know that one.
He is with a party, but I feel like he always feels like he's like. I think there's a lot from what I remember. Like I said, all the lyrics. I should have listened to these on the way up here just to get a refresher, but I didn't. Think
Well, it's got a lot of depth to it. Being alone, like
Yeah.
he's
he's
the
with
only-
y'all, but he's a stranger.
But he's also like the only one who has connections to this evil organization.
Yeah.
You know, and also it works because he's a warlock. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, that's true.
Alone together.
Yeah, that actually works pretty
Yeah.
good.
you know.
For Rask, it took me a while to find this one, but it definitely made sense, and that's Kyle's character. Break Stuff by Limp Bizkit.
Okay,
I think that was very solid.
little new metal. Yeah.
I mean, if he at the very least he's breaking other people.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I actually told Darren his song for Orin when we played last, and I don't know if he just didn't know the song or maybe he does disagree with me. He hasn't been around long enough for me to really have anything.
Somewhere
so I
Over the
went with
Rainbow.
All That I've Got by The Used. Because all he has is his
Yeah.
belongings. Because he's a survivor of the glistening thicket. I thought that was the best I come up with. I'm hoping to maybe home in on him a little better as the campaign goes on, as long as he's able to be there.
You know, that also gives it a little more emotional depth that I think he was trying to convey. That I don't think we were. I'm going to be honest. I don't think we were open to in the campaign.
Y'all been rough on Darren.
We have.
Just in the last episode, the one that we're not talking
Well,
about today.
that's
I think
just
we might
role
have been-
play.
Well, we were also rough with
I
him
felt
after
bad.
the melee
After the,
because he killed Panda and
Panda.
That brings me to my last character on the list, Twinell de Salvatore. My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion after watching Panda's
She loves
death.
that song.
I thought that was the perfect song for her character.
That's great.
You got some for the NPCs too.
Yeah. I was gonna
No, not NPCs. I just did 2 more songs. What song represents the party? And for this one, I chose "Heroes" by Zayd Wolf. It's a band that I really like, and if you haven't heard it, I think it's a really good song. I think it's a song that represents what y'all are working to become. And then finally, just to give an homage to Rudy, I picked a song for the campaign, Seth, and I picked "Land of Confusion" by Disturbed to represent Polexia.
I have a song actually that I don't think I've ever told anyone, but I have a song that I consider the song of the campaign, and it's "To Leave Something Behind" by Sean Rowe.
I don't know half these songs.
It's very slow. It's just I would recommend you listen to it. It's good.
So are we going to turn that into the Commoners Spotify playlist?
Hey, but we made one for all.
We did that. It was actually like he didn't require it, but we kind of all did it.
Did it on our own, yeah.
And you learn a lot about your character and kind of what other people want from
Yeah.
their characters. It's a
free,
bless. Spotify, it's free. English, well, I think you do have to have. Can you create
Yeah,
a?
have
You can create a
premium.
free account and listen.
Okay.
You just have commercials. Yeah, I pay for the free one because that's
You
the
pay
only
for
way
the
to
free
use
one?
it. No, I pay for the premium one. It's the only way to use your phone. Your phone becomes a lot like what's the other radio app? Pandora. If Spotify turns into Pandora if you're using it for free. It just says you want to listen to. You want to listen to. You want to listen to something. Well, here's something that sounds similar, and I don't really care for that. So I pay for it, and I don't mind the cost. But the free version is great, and it works.
Brought to you by Spotify.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, possibly you're listening on Spotify.
Hey,
That's a large portion of our listeners.
Spotify is doing really well. They just bought
Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan's podcasts, all of them. And
100
So it's
million.
exclusively Spotify now.
yeah, that's. I mean, I'm guessing that's what's going to happen. I don't really know what the. I know they're going to have them. I don't know what that means for the platforms they're already on.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's going to be pretty cool.
That's cool, man.
All right, moving on.
What is the thing that you always talk about when you talk about the technical side of things?
Oh, Beyond Common.
Beyond Common, real quick. Guys, AJ Cannon is a beast and works entirely too hard.
You say this every episode.
Well, it's freaking true because
AJ
this
Cannon.
episode that we're talking about right here, he came the night before the campaign because he was leaving early that next morning. And he set everything up for me and like just went over and told me exactly how to do everything. Like we're in just a living room and he has probably 30 pieces of equipment that he has to touch to get going. And so he left it all here. I have dogs that he trusted me to keep it safe for the full week he was gone. And I mean, he said he had to edit our stuff a whole lot,
And yeah,
might have if I was here too.
Yeah, and there was one other thing. He called the day we were going to play while me and Seth were out doing something else before the game that day, episode 12, saying, I forgot something. Give me a call when you can, and we'll get it handled before the game.
And for that,
He had to go stand on a mountain or something to get service so we could figure it out.
Yep. I made a joke. Like he told me the night before, he's like, "All right, you're gonna have to press the asterisk button to get it going, and then when you want to stop, you press the space bar." So I would tell him after that completely, okay, hit the asterisk button, followed immediately by the space bar. I knew what I was supposed to do, but like it was a joke just to like give him a little bit of anxiety. Yeah. But anyway, like 30 minutes in, we thought we were getting started, and then something happened and we didn't get started. So I hit the space bar thinking, okay, that I'm going to stop it, try to help him out on editing because we're about to restart and I wanted us to get around. Hit the space bar again because I thought, well, that's just how. So I thought the asterisk was the overall start, and the space bar was like a DVD player thing, pause, play.
No.
So it started running again, but the screen was gray, and I was like, oh, God, I don't think it's right. I don't think it's right. So then I did just hit asterisk, and I started doing it again, but then I was like, is it recording over itself? What? I didn't know. So I was really terrified.
Did you call me then?
Yeah. No.
You just let it roll?
Yeah.
and for
The worst
that,
thing, it's live
AJ
green, it's
Cannon is beyond common.
He is beyond common. He doesn't belong with the commoners of D&D because he is beyond common.
He is extraordinary, uncommon,
Whatever you say.
super common.
And just like Seth messed with AJ
Tootin'
the day before preparation, we messed with Seth. And we made jokes about how we're going to give this to AJ and there's going to be no audio. That was Seth's greatest
Cameron
fear.
was terrified. He's like, just play it. I was like, I don't know how to play it. He wanted to listen to it so bad just to see if make sure it was recorded. I was like, I don't know how. I ain't gonna mess with it.
Yeah, you wouldn't
I
have
saved
heard
it on there
anything.
twice. I made a soft copy and then I made a hard copy for him just like as a backup.
It's great. No, y'all did really good, and the sound was equally as good as anything else. It was no problems at all. It was good.
Good.
Anywho,
That's beyond common. So, yesterday, my wife just tells me at 8 o'clock before we're getting ready to go to bed, something happened. She's like, on top of all this bad stuff that's happened, we lost a member of the family today. Talking to me, I was like, okay, what are you talking about? The dogs destroyed your pillow. I have had this pillow for legit, I think, 12 years.
is it that long one with the
It's
red
my-
pillowcase?
yes.
Oh no!
I've had this pillow. I've had this pillow for 12 years. It is very thin. I like it thin. It's not got that microfiber stuff. It's a body pillow, but it's not got that like crappy little mesh microfiber stuff. It's got some kind of a cottony cloth or something in there. I don't know. It's just wonderful. And she told me that she took it down to our chicken house incinerator and burned it because she knew I would be mad if she tried to throw it away. So I get tired around 11 o'clock. I watch some Netflix, and 11 o'clock comes around. I'm like, okay, I got to go to bed. I laid in bed, tossing and turning, trying different pillows. She has 18 in there. I tried like every one of them for 2 hours till 1 o'clock in the morning, and I just cannot sleep. Like wide awake because I missed my pillow. And just all these other pillows are uncomfortable. And finally, like I'm just kind of groaning about it. And she's like, "What is your problem?" I was like, "You burned my pillow and now I can't sleep." She's like, "It's behind the hot water heater."
Oh my!
She didn't. I was gonna say, why did she get rid of it anyway?
The dogs did tear out a bunch of the stuff.
Yeah, so the dogs.
I've got to re-sew it. So like I go back in there and like some of it is sticking out. I just shove it back in there and go to bed, fall asleep immediately.
Oh my gosh, that thing's your binky.
It's my binky apparently. I've had that thing. I went to college with that thing. Like my
You've had
dad.
that everywhere.
I got it from my dad. He had some surgery and he had to have it to sleep on his side or something because of a surgery. And he gave it to me, and I've had that thing forever. And I cannot stand any other pillow anywhere besides this pillow. And I don't know what I'm going to do when one of these days I do have to throw it away because it's going to be bad.
I mean, I'm with you. The pillow's like the most important part. I went through so many pillows. I had one. I can't remember what kind it was. I had it and it was fine, and now it got wore out, or I tore it up or spilled something on it or something. Got a new pillow. Could never find one that would suffice. I've been through memory foam pillows, everything. Finally, I got it's the back cushion off of an old couch that was in my grandparents' house when my mom was a kid.
Yes.
It is like it's firm but plush. Yeah, and it's just I took it the first time I used it. I took it camping because I always have problems like sleeping on the ground. Like I want my head up, and I use like, man, this is great. I'm just going to use it all the time, and it's on my bed. That's what I use for my pillow now. And I've bought other pillows, and nothing works.
So basically,
It keeps my head cool.
I mean, it's got the perfect amount of fluff, the perfect amount of wear, the perfect amount of like fart dust in it.
Yeah,
You know?
and it's just big enough that like I can like hug it and still have my head on it. It's almost
man.
like a body pillow size. It's great.
Before I woke her up, I was literally like just Googling trying to figure out what was in this pillow because I don't want to buy another microfiber pillow because those are uncomfortable. I find this article just talking about all the different kind of downs and stuff that go. There is one apparently that's like a bean husk.
Yeah. I've heard of it. Yep.
It looked super awesome. Like
You talking about with the little white balls?
no,
in
they're
it?
like black. It's black husks of some kind of a bean.
Oh, okay.
And they're like
an actual bean.
yeah, it's an actual bean
not
husk.
just a circle.
No,
Gotcha.
no, actual bean husk. And like it sounded pretty awesome. They're like one of the flaws is it will make a shifting sound because it's just a whole bunch of them in there.
Sounds like
They're
a bean
It'll
bag.
keep you cool though. It doesn't keep heat, and it kind of it's pretty firm when you lay down. And
I have a pillow at my house that my wife will not let me turn around so that she can see inside the pillowcase because I've had it for so long and I've drooled on it so much. It's brown, it's orange, there is no white on this pillow at all, and she will not stand to look
You
at
got to
it.
double bag that thing. Just come from both ends.
Listen, no, ain't happening. It's
Give it a bleach bath.
It's perfect the way that it is. If I bleach it, all it's gonna do is get all
The
You
you
know.
out of it.
I wash my pillow. Like I do, but
I'm afraid to wash it. That's my problem.
Here's
I
a
mean-
good. No, keep going. Sorry.
It's probably not sanitary. Like there's probably
Pope's
some.
leg pillow.
Do what?
My old roommate. He
He had a pillow that he just slept with between his legs, and if anyone ever asked for a pillow, that's the one he would give.
we tormented him about that so much that he finally just threw it away.
Oh,
It was his don't keep his knees together, not in a good spot for a guy. You don't want to share it with others pillow.
Yeah.
We had a nice name for it. Did I say that name?
I don't remember the name.
It was a nut pillow.
But no, I was going to say, to add to your common life, me and Tyrel, the place we stayed coming back from the mission trip, not clean.
No.
You know how normally we
Not
get
at
like
all.
a sick condo or like a cabin up there in Tennessee? We got one. It was kind of last minute, I guess, and not near what we normally stay in. It was like
Not the standard to these public servants.
No, it was still a condo.
Oh, be humble, sir. Come on.
No, do you remember how many hairs we found?
Yes.
Long,
Don't
black,
forget about the gummy bears.
and the gummy bears. Yeah, well, first of all, we
Better
started
eat those
finding
gummy bears.
we first started finding hairs. Then we just started looking for stuff. There was a green gummy bear stuck to the bathroom door on the outside of it.
Yep.
Then we start looking around. There's another one stuck to the floor under my bed, and wasn't there a third one somewhere?
There was one on the plunger in the bathroom.
Yeah, on the plunger.
This sounds like a Japanese horror movie.
and they
Because they know
Hair and
horror.
gummy bears everywhere.
and they were just like half melted and just like slimed on and just stuck there.
Disgusting. Don't forget about all the
How'd they
pillows
taste?
and the stains and everything else that was on the bed.
Yeah, yeah.
How'd they
the-
taste though?
Nasty.
I didn't try.
Were they
one.
still good?
Haribo or
It
whatever
took
the other
me-
one is.
It took me forever to find a blanket because the one that was on the bed, it did not. Like they always have like that comforter thing up there, and staying in hotels with my mom growing up, she always said never use that because I guarantee they don't wash it, and it goes on the floor, and then they just put it right back up there. So we'd always get blankets out of the closet or whatever. We went through a billion blankets at this place trying to find one that was clean. I went to the next room next door because it was like a large apartment or like almost like a house, and got another blanket. It had like strawberry jam or something stuck to it. It's like I'm just gonna have to not use a blanket.
Sounds like a tasty place.
So, like,
It looked nice. You start looking around, wasn't nice.
has
Had a hot tub.
anybody ever stayed at a place? You know, you've gone on vacation or you've gone on some sort of trip, and like you found a bed that was so comfortable, and then you come back home and you're just spoiled to it.
Nope.
No,
they're
I've
always
never
always
found a
stiff.
bed.
No,
that-
I always
Comfortable
find
with
soft beds. I can't stand soft beds.
See,
Yeah, like a hard bed, yeah.
a few
I can sleep
weeks
on a
ago,
rock,
Haley
so.
and I went on vacation to South Carolina, and
You already talked about that.
I know, but the bed, dude. I love a soft bed.
So
if I can sink
So
into
you're
it,
Mama Bear.
I can't stand that.
You got the
I
sink
just-
in.
if I could sink into it, I could sleep forever
gives me
it keeps
claustrophobia.
it keeps me from moving because
Makes
I'm
me
moving all
hot.
over the place. My bed at home is stiff as a board. I sit on my side for too long, and like my hip starts hurting. Like I
You need to
feel
get
like
you
an
some
old
memory
person.
foam.
No, I feel that. I feel
Oh,
that.
man.
Nice.
Like I was spoiled to that bed, and I will probably never, ever have a bed that nice
No, you'll still
in my home.
You can't possibly sleep in a bed somewhere else that you sleep in
It'd be
as
comfortable.
good as your own bed.
Nope.
Oh, that's a lie.
The bed that I
It just
have,
means Tate's never invested in a good bed. That's what it
Well,
tells
the,
me.
Spoiled.
mattress.
That's exactly it.
The mattress I'm sleeping on right now. I think I got when I was a single digit age. I'm pretty sure I wasn't more than 10 or 11 years old. I've been on that bed for 15 years. It's broke in.
Yeah,
And it's
I
not a good mattress, but it's my
Broken
mattress.
mattresses are not always a good thing. When the springs break inside of
Yeah,
them,
and it
yeah,
sagged.
that's not good.
Yeah. When you turn it into memory foam, it's time to replace it.
Okay, moving on. Sports segment. I heard this one today. I can't even talk about it without laughing. Okay. First of all, great. Sports are they're trying hard to get sports back.
Trying hard.
sports
I
is
heard
huge for
there's
the economy.
cardboard cutouts in baseball games, and they're
For
like,
fans?
Oh, yeah, there-
to
there was some
represent
stadiums
fans
that
so
did
that
that.
the players can play and see an
I
obvious.
guess they play cheers over the loudspeakers or something.
I don't know that or
Just
they
let
type
them
them
play
in.
the
That's
game.
weird.
Yeah,
That these
No,
multi-million
they
dollar
were selling
people,
cardboard because you could send your picture, and they would make a cardboard cutout of you, but
That
you
is
had to pay.
ridiculous.
that's genius.
Somebody smart. Somebody's like, "Oh, I want to be up there."
So it's
why?
So it's 2020, but now the real games look like Madden from 2000.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
we're getting the old turnaround. We're getting the old switcheroo.
Video games are better than the real thing now.
So we're playing baseball. We're trying to get basketball back going. Football. Are they?
They're talking like it could happen. They're talking like it might not. Yeah,
Because we finished the last season. Super Bowl happened. So
Yeah.
they're talking about having it. Anyway, one of the main things going on is the Redskins haven't changed their name.
They have.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Have you heard what they're going to be called?
The Washington football team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was what I was going to talk about.
Now the reason
Can we
they're-
not come up with something better than that?
This is like they
think
are
it's a
gonna, they are
placeholder.
leaving it open to call themselves something, but people have been calling them the Washington football team because the announcers don't want to get grief for being racist
By
by saying
the
Redskins. It's not like they just people complain so much that the news or the television channels are just like just don't say the Redskins.
So they're just calling them
they're calling the Washington football team. So now the team's like, yeah, okay, yeah,
They're just going to embrace
we're
it.
gonna be
The only football team in the league.
football team.
So we're going to say, yeah, and this weekend on Sunday Night Football,
the football team scored.
yeah, we've got the Miami Dolphins versus the football team, or the Dolphins versus the football team. You can't call. I mean, you're going to have to just call them Washington.
Yeah,
it's
that's what they'll
Washington
do.
versus Miami instead of saying
Yeah.
Dolphins versus.
It's just it's going to be a
Football
placeholder. They'll just say.
I wish
Washington.
they would buy the rights from Vince McMahon for the team name that he had during the XFL that failed because of COVID. The DC Defenders. That is super awesome.
That is
Forget
nice.
Washington because everyone thinks, oh, it's up there in the Northwest when actually it's
Yeah, I always
It's
think Washington
DC
State
Washington.
too.
Is it? Is
The
it Washington?
DC Defenders.
I thought they
That's
were
really good.
considering a name from what is it? What's that movie with Keanu Reeves where the Rejects? No, where they played like the second
Oh, the replacements.
the Replacements. Yeah, their name. I thought they
That's
were
probably just a
considering-
joke because that's a really bad football team. They're really bad.
Oh well.
Well, I was listening.
is that
to
a
the,
real football team?
No, I'm talking about the Washington team is really bad.
Oh okay. Well,
Yeah, well,
that-
It's a joke.
I was listening to the Brilliantly Dumb show today, and it's great. You should listen to it. Robbie Berger. Shout out Robbie Berger. I've shouted him out before because it's the best podcast out there. Anyway, he was talking about it. He said, as if they weren't bad enough. He said, the Redskins, what do they have? He said, what have they ever had? He named one player that was pretty good back in the day, I guess. He was like, so instead of just, he was always saying, they ought to be taking advantage of this because they can wipe the slate and just start over. They no longer have to be this team. But then he was like, as if it wasn't bad enough they had to change their name, they've come up with the Washington football team. The football team.
They are calling this a beta name, and they're saying
Okay,
they can't change it.
I'm glad.
It's just a placeholder.
I've even like teams. I was just thinking about this. Teams that have a name that is not a somethings, like not a plural, like the Crimson Tide. What are some other ones? Like that's stupid. I always thought that's stupid. And then your
Well,
mascot's an
that-
elephant.
Right. The Crimson Tide is something to do with the way their team moved back in the day, where they looked like just one
Yeah.
wave of red.
Yeah, that's what it was. But teams like that,
Mascots
that are,
have to have. You have to have a mascot.
I like it to be a something like
You want it to be a red wave.
the Raiders.
Well, the Crimson
Seahawks.
Tide is more of a
Go Seahawks.
Yeah.
that's not really what their actual not icon. Their mascot. It's not their actual mascot. That's just what they're referred to as, though.
Right.
As far as I know.
Yeah, well, that is what I mean. The Crimson Tide. I mean, that's their name. That's their it's
That
the
is
Alabama
their-
Crimson Tide.
I am not an authority on sports.
But there's other ones that are like that.
I mean, when you go to baseball, you've got
It shouldn't just be a noun.
you've got some weird like the Nationals. You've got the Black Sox, the White Sox.
Well, yeah, but still, that's
Black
all
Sox.
a thing.
I didn't mean Black Sox. I mean Red Sox. What's the Black Sox?
The Black Sox and the White
What
Sox.
is the Black Sox?
What?
I got that from somewhere.
Just cut that out.
I think
What
I
is
made
the
it
mascot for
Yeah,
the
cut
White
that one
Sox?
out.
Isn't the White Sox mascot a baseball head?
Big
Yeah.
baseball.
What's the Red Red Sox mascot?
I don't know.
Baseball
Red
ones
baseball?
are where they deviate. Like
We should
they'll
start
have a little
using-
mascot dude that has nothing to do with their team name.
They should start using D&D names for football now. Just go ahead and fully integrate.
The Washington Kraken.
Washington Black Cloaks.
Just remember,
There you go.
just remember when you're watching the Washington Krakens to crack open a cold one with the boys. It's Monday Night Football, y'all.
Sponsored by Kraken.
Beware the high seas.
It's great.
Kraken is not an official sponsor of this podcast.
I hope they can play.
Yeah. I mean,
If they
I'm
don't,
not
like,
a football fan, but
If,
football's good.
if football doesn't come back, cable's done.
Yeah, pretty much. This
Might as
may be
well
the
be.
end of satellite and cable.
Oh, yeah. They're overcharged for too long.
I don't know how satellite's still in business.
Because
only better
people
out of
just
that.
Because people just don't realize, and they've obviously got the country homes.
To be fair, I don't have good enough internet not to have satellite.
Right?
Yeah,
that's what
they're
I'm
making
saying.
their money off rural America, and that's probably the reason we don't have good internet out
Might
here.
be.
Yep.
They've cornered it.
You
It's
know,
a monopoly.
my wife did
Conspiracy.
tell me that, for every stupid law that you find, there's an activist group behind it. In all honesty, and we got onto this subject because when you think about and listen, I understand the need for a seatbelt, but seatbelt laws. You have people that absolutely have to put on a seatbelt when they get in their cars, but you have people driving, motorcycles without helmets.
Right.
It's not safety is not the key. If motorcycles are street legal, then safety's not the key.
Right.
Seatbelt law is just a way for the government to, little bit by little bit, control us.
Well, not just government, but automotive industries too. I mean, if you think about it, who has to gain from a government registered vehicle? You have to have a seatbelt in it. If you
Unless
have so many
an antique
regulations,
license.
if you have so many regulations on your mode of transportation, who has to gain from that? The people that have already established our modes of transportation. You can't have anybody breaking into it like I used to work building side-by-sides. You have to put a ton of money into them to get them street legal. They're not street legal right off the bat because there's so many regulations on,
Yeah.
So, I mean, you think about it, why wouldn't a side-by-side be okay? Why couldn't you drive a Honda Ranger side-by-side on the street? Because there are things that you can't regulate on that. You know what I mean?
Rules are weird.
are.
Who has the right to tell me at 2 a.m. at a red light where there's not a soul around that I have to sit there for the full 2 minutes instead of just going through and going on my way home when there's no one around?
That's such a good point.
Why
I've run them before. I've done it.
I probably have too, but you think it just even in the middle of the day. Right. You pull up to a red light and there's no one around.
Because you'd have idiots running up there not stopping at all because
they didn't see the person that could
Yeah.
be there.
Or they don't
It's more
care.
about who could be there, I guess.
So what you're saying is we're stopping natural selection from taking hold.
well, you could kill
Yeah.
you could kill somebody that's
Society
not stupid.
is developed around.
I'm telling you, you have rules in place for people that are stupid enough to break the rules. It's because people aren't smart. It's just like why they have to put warnings and stuff on things.
Okay, so why do you not support wearing a mask?
Yeah, that's
No, I don't. I just don't think you should have to.
Well, then you shouldn't have
Just
to
like
stop at a red light.
you shouldn't have to wear a seatbelt. No, if it's about my own safety.
Well,
That's
that's
what you get
that's
into.
that's not what a mask is. The mask isn't
No,
for your own
that's what
safety.
they say, right?
The mask is for you to not spread it. To
Supposedly, yeah, and that's why. I mean, I'm wearing one because they tell me I have to. I'm wearing it. I mean, I don't think that you should be able to tell me that.
I try
but
to.
You shouldn't be able to
a
tell
lot
me
of people are not.
when I'm not wearing a seatbelt. What I'm the one at risk. I'm not putting anybody else at risk by not wearing a seatbelt.
Unless your body flies into their vehicle.
and kills them.
You're going to become
I guess
a
that's
projectile.
True. I guess that's true. I think we should wear seatbelts.
I know. I've had this discussion with people before, and one of the things that was presented to me is if you're not wearing a seatbelt and you're driving recklessly, and someone else hits you and you die as a result, if you let's say hindsight, if had you worn a seatbelt, you would have survived. Your death is now on that person's conscience, whether it was your fault or their fault. That's true. But I mean, that was about as close as I can remember that conversation getting because I asked the same thing. I was like, when it's only my life at risk, why should I wear one? I do care about my life, but when I'm making mundane trips, I don't like to. I've definitely been more on top of it here lately. In fact, my girlfriend just got mad at me today about it. Because I was on the phone with her,
so
and she's like, "Oh, and by the way, I hear that blinking. You're not wearing your seatbelt, are you?" I was like, "I'm so sorry."
No, I'm just low on gas, baby.
No, I promise I wear my seatbelt. I try to wear it. That's just I struggle with those short trips when I know I'm going a block away, and I don't know. This is what I've always talked about it with people is
What's ironic is you're more likely to die a mile from your home than
I know.
anywhere else.
Just
because you spend the most
coming
time.
from-
Right.
Yeah, and also that's where you can let your guard down.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I mean, that's all true.
Why are we talking about this?
That's what came up.
Yep.
Why is Tyrell not talking at all this episode?
Barely.
I've been listening while talking, though, I guess.
We got here because of stupid laws. That is a pastime of high school students.
You know it's illegal to put ice cream cones in your pocket in Oklahoma?
Do you know it's illegal to throw a moose out of an airplane in Alaska? That seems like something you should be illegal. But, but why did they make a law about it?
There is, I believe it's Massachusetts, illegal to wear slippers after a certain time of day outside for some weird reason.
Well, that's a great rule. Maybe you could keep these. I'm not gonna say anything.
Hey,
Spread of
I'm a
athletes.
sandals guy.
I was gonna
What
say
did you say?
these dang women that walk out of their house in a not any clothes because they think it's their pajamas and they just got to run to Dollar General and they're wearing their slippers and a
That's
pair of
called
shorts
peopleofwalmart.com.
and a tank top and no bra and they weigh
Every girl in
300 pounds.
college.
Well, I mean, that's another thing, though. We could get into this whole big old thing, all right? But like I've seen, I've worked at a gas station where I've had grungy old men come in with their shirt buttoned up to their belly button, just and like nothing underneath, just hair and skin, and it's like, I don't want to see that, but like they're fully within their rights.
Well, I guess so.
And-
My cousin the other day, she works at Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
She said that I can't remember if she'd been out at lunch or what, but she comes in walking past the electronics department, and there's an old guy in there standing there. She said he had his hands on top of his head, wasn't wearing a mask, which you have to get in Walmart now, wearing nothing but a yellow Speedo.
No, then I must have broke in the other day then, because I sure went to Walmart 2 days ago with no mask.
Well,
I forget to carry one in my car.
They were trying to get him to leave or put something on or whatever, wouldn't leave. The manager was on the phone with the cops over an old man in a Speedo.
Good Lord.
Anyway.
I've forgotten masks. The one in Heber gives out free masks. The one in Mountain View is like you can buy a box inside. I see people though still not wearing masks though in Walmart and stuff. A lot more people are though.
It's because a lot of these local police departments, sheriff's offices, whatever, they have made their vows online that they will not. Which is hilarious to me that, like Concord, most of us either grew up around or went to school in Concord. What?
Got pulled over there.
I'm sure it was your
everybody,
grandpa.
dude. They're crazy. They were, at least. But like, it's this town of 296 people, okay? And this guy, he's a police officer, and I guess he's the police officer in Concord. He goes, "My name's blah blah blah, and I'm the what was it that he said? I'm the
Sheriff?
chief of police of Concord."
It was that guy. He did say chief of police.
He said chief of police. It's
Oh,
like, dude, you're an army of one.
You're the only one here.
I declare myself the chief.
I would say Jimmy Tate was more of a chief than that.
Oh, man.
Constable.
Man, Constable, he'd get calls from all over.
He was the nightmare constable that no one wanted. He took his job serious.
Man, no.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. I remember.
Probably the best constable ever.
I
Because
remember
he
there
actually did something.
There was a friend of mine in school.
Annoyed people.
Yeah.
Pull you over.
There was
Have to
a friend
wait
of
on
mine who
another
actually
cop
got-
to come get you.
He got pulled over in between Concord and Pleasant Plains for going 70 in a 55. And my grandpa, the constable, he pulls him over and says, "Listen, what you're doing is dangerous."
I can't write you a ticket.
He goes, that was just stupid. But I'm going to write you a ticket for speeding, not reckless driving. And like cut him some major slack because he was going like, what? What is that?
Could he write him a ticket?
tickets.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he had to wait for a cop to get there.
I don't believe. I think he gave him a ticket, is what I was
The
told.
police departments that don't have a quota but often have a quota, they'll call. Like I know city police in my area, they'll call the state department and let them take it if it's near the interstate, and let them get it. I know that happens a lot.
It might be that he was also deputized. He was, I mean,
Maybe. I don't know. Anything else we want to discuss? on
yeah.
this
I
episode?
mean, we went way off trail here.
Yeah, let's just shut this thing down and record another one.
Yep.
Anything
Coming
else?
right back at you with episode 13.
Oh boy.
See you in a second.
And that's a cut.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Say It in Common with the Commoners of D&D. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast and follow us on Facebook and Instagram at The Commoners Official so you never miss an episode or anything else. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Commoners, for even more exclusive content. We'll see you next time.